Hi, in today's video English lesson, we're going to learn part 2 of some useful English phrases for participating in meetings and discussions. Now, if English is not your first language and you're not yet so comfortable using English, then a meeting can just fly by without you ever really saying anything. Now, it's not that you don't have anything to say. It's just that the other person was going on and on and on, and you didn't really know how to interrupt them politely so that you can get a word in. Or you are speaking and someone interrupts you, stops you from making your point, and you don't know how to prevent that from happening. Well, in today's lesson, we're going to fix all that and give you some of the English phrases you need in order to start participating back and forth in some of these discussions. So let's head over to the board so we can learn part 2 of some of these useful phrases for participating in meetings and discussions. I'm going to show you some phrases for interacting back and forth. There are 3 sets of business English phrases I'm going to show you here, and they are clarifying, interrupting, and handling being interrupted. At times, you will need to clarify your position. Clarifying means to make yourself understood when people might not fully understand the point you just made. This often comes after you have made a suggestion or stated an opinion. Additionally, as part of clarifying, we might also need to elaborate, which means to explain more in detail. By explaining more and developing your point, your position becomes more and more clear. Let's observe some phrases and their function. How do you mean exactly? Now, this is a question asking for clarification directly. We might also say, what do you mean exactly? Another example, are you saying that we should take on all of the cost? Are you saying that we should fully pay for their benefit cards? Here you're attempting to rephrase and asking the other person to confirm your understanding. And with the last example, so what you're saying is that we should pay fully for their benefit cards. Here you are simply attempting to rephrase. If the other person agrees with you, with your understanding, then they won't say anything. If they meant something differently, then they will correct you. So here, these are some examples for clarifying. Now, let's move on to some useful phrases for interruptions. When you interrupt someone, you stop someone from finishing their point. Now, when it comes to being interrupted, someone stops you from saying what you're trying to say, from making the point you're trying to make. Now, let's look at some examples for interrupting people. Could I just say something? The function here is that you are interjecting yourself into the conversation. To interject means just to insert yourself into the discussion. Now, we might do this if someone is speaking a lot, they are talking and talking, and we haven't had a chance to say anything, so we want to just say something. We want to interject ourselves. Another example, could I just comment on that? asking to add something to another person's point. We just want to add something to what they said or say what we think and then let them continue. So could I just comment on that? That's something you can say. Now, when you're interrupting, we want to do this with a bit of intonation. So could I just comment on that for a second? Now, hold on a minute. Here we are objecting a little bit more strongly. Hold on a minute. So this is something that we can do to object a bit more strongly and to interrupt a person more forcefully. And finally, sorry to interrupt, but notice the ... That signals that you would just continue talking. So this is a polite interruption because we use sorry. So in English, whenever we say sorry, it means we're being polite. And so sorry to interrupt, but, and then you just say what you need to say for the reason that you interrupted. And now let's move over to the second part of interruptions, being interrupted. The first example, if you'll just let me finish. Now, this is a polite way of stopping a person from interrupting you. So someone tries to interrupt you and you just stop them. If you'll just let me finish. Now, you can strengthen this with intonation. If you'll just let me finish. Or, if you'll just let me finish. Slow down, but keep talking. And with this intonation, you can also stop someone from interrupting you. Just a moment, please. This is also polite because you said this magic word in English, please. Just a moment with strong intonation can be rather forceful way of stopping an interruption. So just a moment, please, or just a moment, please. So how you say it depends on how polite or forceful you're being. Another one, I'd like to finish if I may. This is another polite way of stopping an interruption. I'd like to finish if I may. So if you strengthen on the may, then you can say it a little bit more forcefully. And hold on, just hear me out, please. This is a more forceful way of stopping someone from interrupting you during a meeting or any kind of discussion. Just hear me out. This is a very popular phrase in English whereby we want to finish our point. So we're saying, just hear me out. Before you interrupt me, before you go and make your point, just hear me out. Now, these business English phrases are analogous to raising your hand in the classroom. But we're not in a classroom, are we? In business meetings, you don't raise your hands. You interject yourself into the discussion. These phrases help you to do so with the proper etiquette. And let's be clear, we don't always have to be polite. We can be forceful if we need to. And knowing the right phrases and intonation will help you participate in the meeting without being seen as rude. Hey, English learners, we've just learned even more useful phrases for participating in meetings and discussions. If you haven't seen part 1 of this mini series of lessons, you can click on the card somewhere above my head and be taken to that video. But before you go, I just want to let you know about some of the bonus extras you get for watching this video. This time we learned phrases for clarifying, handling interruptions, interrupting someone else, and doing it in a polite way. And in today's environment, I can say that it's even more important that you know how to interrupt and handle being interrupted. I mean, we're doing online learning.
Zoom and Teams meetings, Google Meet sessions, online. And you can raise your hand or interrupt or use your body language to signal that you want to speak. You need to do so with your voice. And these phrases will really help you do that effectively in some of these online meetings that you have. So, like any good English teacher, I'm going to give you a bit of homework. What I want you to do is go and download the cheat sheet that is down in the video description and practice these phrases until you're comfortable using them in real life situations. That cheat sheet also comes with an exercise that I put together for you. It's a little dialogue that you can do and practice until you really feel comfortable using these phrases in regular situations. So, with that said, that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video.